What's going on YouTube? JT Born here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about Nightwing, issue number 104. This one is written, of course, by Tom Taylor, art by Travis Moore, and then C.S. Paquette as the backup writer on the backup storyline, which I don't know why we even need a backup storyline in Nightwing. We don't need these backup stories in Batman. We don't need them in Detective Comics. We don't really need them in anything else. You know what I'm glad with the Superman title, the main one? No backup stories. I am so over so many backup stories. And the backup story in this one just felt like it went on too long. Probably should have just wrapped things up in the last issue. But yeah, so this is Tom Taylor. He's writing the Titans again. And I wasn't a huge fan of Titans issue number 1. Like I said, there was a few decent moments in it, but there's a lot of things I just read that I just did not like at all. I will give some props that this is better than Titans number 1, the way the Titans are handled in this thing. But once again, it's just one of those stories where it's just, I feel like nobody's ever in any sense of danger. I never feel any stakes. Everything is just so lighthearted and so easy, and I'm just tired of it. I give me some stakes in these stories, like make me really feel the tension. Again, I get with comic books, sometimes you're not always supposed to buy that, but everything just feels too easy. It's been too easy for too long. Look, after the Dick Grayson thing, we needed a more lighthearted reprieve. We needed to go out of the darkness and into the light, but it's been enough time. We can make the stories more intense. We can move the Titans to the Titans book. We don't need them all in this thing every single time where Dick has like 100 different people and everything's just wrapped up like that every single time. Just give me a more Nightwing focused story. If you want to keep Barbara Gordon in there, that's fine. Have her be Oracle, and maybe once in a while she wants to be back. You know what? Let's just keep her as Oracle. I want that dynamic for the most part going on. But I want Dick Grayson more at the focal point of a Nightwing book, right? It's called Nightwing. And Nightwing always feels like a secondary character half the time. Feels like he never does anything on his own anymore. He's always got a million people to back him up. And then when it feels like it's finally going to happen, he gets bailed out by 100 other heroes. And I'm just tired of it. And then you have storylines that just never feel like they're finished. Like Heartless, how are we not done with that thing yet? It's been going on for, what, like 2 years now? When did this run start? I'm venting my frustrations because this issue on its own is all right. It's not the worst thing in the world. I think it's just fine. But after reading so much and just being like invested in this thing for like as long as I am, I'm just kind of tired anymore. I want more serious. I want a little bit darker. And again, Nightwing can be lighthearted at times. It's fine. But it's just a bit too much. I've had enough fluff for a while. I want some more like stakes to some of these stories. I want to feel like Dick Grayson's really challenged for once, because it's just, there's no challenge. It's like being level 1. It's like going back to level 1 on New Game Plus when you have all the upgrades. And everything just is wrapped up so easily. But anyways, let's get to the story. So last issue, Neron, for whatever reason, he gives Dick Grayson all this power for like 2 hours. So Dick is pretty much like Superman in terms of, not quite, but still very strong. He can do all these different things. Costume looks great, by the way. Like the Travis Moore artwork is pretty solid throughout the issue for the most part. Is it the best work I've seen in Travis Moore? Not necessarily, but I really like the costume design here given. So Neron gives him this power so he can go take care of things, and Dick, of course, is solving all sorts of things. He meets up with different people, and you have Blockbuster's daughter there, and then there's Bitewing, the puppy. Why you would bring a dog to the battlefield like this is beyond me at times, but it is what it is. So yeah, they're doing all this stuff. Trigon's in here at one point. He's talking to Neron, and I don't know about you, but wasn't Trigon... Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I remember Trigon being killed off in like Red Hood and the Outlaws. Not sure if that's the case or if Trigon can really fully be defeated. I think DC's established that he could, but I'm just wondering how he's back like this. I thought I remember Bizarro defeating him or something. Maybe they just got pushed aside or whatever, but it is what it is. Neron's kind of a weak, pathetic villain, to be honest, in this thing. But yeah, so eventually they stop all this stuff. Dick has a conversation with Superman and these powers. He's like, oh, time's running out. He goes in, helps everyone out. Again, this is also supposed to take place before Lazarus Planet Revenge of the Gods. Remember that event I just covered? So yeah, everything's still like trailing a little bit behind, so we're still never gonna get to the end of this Heartless thing. But then Neron's like, hey, Dick Grayson, you taste all his power. Think of all you could do with this thing, but you just have to give up this little girl. Of course he's not going to give up this girl. But don't worry, he's already got magic sticks given to him by Nightmite, if you will. So yeah, we had that storyline, and then he easily defeats Neron. And also, at one point, like, after Blockbuster's daughter gives herself the name Nightbuster, and she goes to live with the Amazons, Queen Hippolyta, which, by the way, is she still Queen Hippolyta, or is it Queen Nubia? I thought Nubia was the queen. I read Revenge of the Gods, and she was the queen. So unless it's been something like, I don't know, editorial is like confusing. But yeah, so Nightbuster, if you will be able to become a Titan later on if you want. But anyways, Raven's there. At least there's some compassionate moments with Raven, and we don't see her hair done really horrendously like in Titans. And then she goes back to hell, and she just whoops Neron's ass rather easily, like kind of like takes away his powers, which why they didn't just do that from the beginning is beyond me. She could have just threatened him to drop the contract and take him out like this. I mean, Dick Grayson already kind of found a loophole out of it anyways, but why couldn't he just do this she couldn't have just done this from the start? And then she kind of gives hell control to somebody else, and then we come to find out that something is missing for her, and it's going to be continued in Titans #1, which did it? I don't really recall, was it? Because it was just Wally getting shot at one point. And then, of course, we had just that horrendous haircut for Raven, and just all that stuff that just felt really out of character, like her making out with Beast Boy in front of thousands of people, which just seemed like a really stupid idea, if you ask me. But yeah, so that's this issue in a nutshell. At least Raven's artwork and design is much better here than it is in the main Titans book, which after that first issue, I don't think it's going to be that great. I don't think Tom Taylor really should be the one to write the Titans. His DC stuff, good. He can write good things at times, but does he really have to be the one to write Titans? Can we just let somebody else take a crack at it? Because Nightwing, like the stuff with Nightwing when the Titans are involved, it just feels a bit lesser. Yeah, it was kind of fun at times to kind of like get everyone there and just back and all that, but I'm just, like I said, I'm just kind of checked out with it. I felt no stakes. Neron was defeated easily. Every opponent's just beaten so easily. At least make me feel the stakes and the suspense for once. But it's just not there. And of course, this is set before Titans. And now that the Titans are going to be in their own Titans book, and they just, like, it's cool once in a while to have them show up in Nightwing. But can we just have, like, a Dick Grayson focused story in Nightwing without 100 different, like, supporting characters that, like the Titans showing up and Superman showing up and Jon Kent showing up constantly? I want a story to challenge Dick Grayson on his own for once. I want him to finally solve the Heartless case, which has been going on for like 2 years and is still not done. I know I'm going to keep rambling on about that, but it's just, some things are really rushed, and then other things just like drag on for so long. Like, where is this direction even going at this point? So I don't know. I'm just kind of checked out at this point. But anyways, I've rambled on long enough. In terms of the backup, it's still like, it feels kind of like a bit too much. Like, we could have just ended the storyline in the last thing, but we come to find out that some other guy, something completely separate from this whole case, was a vendetta against the circus. And he put all these bombs and different things. They track it down. They eventually stop him. And, yeah. So this one, of course, is written by, C.S. Pacat. And then Daniel H.D.R. Is the penciler. And Jonas is the letter. But anyways, so they were the artists on this thing. And, well, sometimes the art is okay. It's not the strongest, but there's like one instance where the art just looks really bad. And that's this image right here. What the hell is that? That is supposed to be Jon Kent, and he looks like Neil Breen. He also kind of reminds me of that Napoleon. Like, you ever see Napoleon Dynamite? Remember Napoleon Dynamite has that one drawing he draws for that one girl to ask her to a date, and that's like the drawing that he like came up with, but. Yeah, just like that is kind of a horrifying looking Jon Kent right there. It's not the strongest art. Like, the artwork, the other parts of the issue was okay, but I'm yawning right now. But this part just didn't really do it for me. And of course, like I said, it just kind of goes on a bit, and yeah, that's kind of the end of the story. Not sure we necessarily needed this. Also, why Jon Kent is teaming up with Dick Grayson just so much anymore at this point, I've kind of noticed, but Yeah, that's that story. I thought it was fine ending before. I didn't really think we needed this extra part to it, but it is what it is. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I guess it's just Dick training Jon for more things because Tom Taylor wrote Son of Kal-El and Jon Kent was in that, so naturally they're going to talk about Jon Kent in this one. But I rambled on long enough about this particular issue, but that's just kind of my overall rant on Nightwing in general. Like, if you're looking for just a simple, like, random issue of Nightwing, like a 2-part story arc or whatever, this will be fine. It's not, or like 3 parts, if you will. This will be fine. It's just the fact that there's other storylines that have been set up that have never been finished that are still dragging on. Everything is just way too easy. Artwork is nice and by Travis Moore. The backup, it can be kind of hit or miss. That image of Jon Kent's kind of gonna haunt my nightmares for a while. But I'm just checked out at this point, and I want it to be check backing because I was really into what Tom Taylor was doing early on in this book, but it's gotten to the point where I just don't care. Like, it just feels like they've run out of things to do, and things are they're just gonna be prolonged time and time and time again. So yeah, I'm being very harsh. And it's more of a rant on the overall run than the particular issue itself. I mean, I think the issue itself is okay. Raven getting her moments was kind of cool. Although I feel like she could have just like solved this problem earlier on by whooping Neron's ass like from the get go, but it is what it is, I suppose. Everything is just too easy. Like, everyone's just so invincible. Everyone's just basically it's like I said, you played a video game, there's a new game plus mode, you have all the upgrades, and you go back and start things from the beginning. Everything's just so easy. Level 1 bad guys, and you're level like 100 or something. It's just not a challenge anymore. And I want to be challenged. I want the stories to be a little bit more intriguing. I want a little bit of mystery, something fun. Like I said, I've been having fun in a lot of stuff, but I want something that I'm really going to feel the tension in. And not like a really obnoxious kind of way. Just like it's something really engaging, like an engaging story, if you will. But who knows when that'll happen. So that's that. I've rambled on long enough. This will wrap up my DC comic book reviews for the week. I got some other stuff I'll get to probably tomorrow. I think 3 videos tonight's good enough. That'll be the solicitations video since I'm a week late on that. And then I have something else about Skull Island. And then I should be pretty darn good. So there you go. That's all I got to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace.